Hello, my name is Ricky Thompson, and today I am going to be going through every single Taylor Swift song to try to decide what my favorite is. But first, I'm not going to do it alone. I need a little bit of caffeine to help get me through this adventure. Alright, so here's the deal. I have created a bracket consisting of 143 songs from Taylor's 8 studio albums thus far, as well as a couple additional songs that I've decided I would include that I enjoyed. I didn't pick everything. There are certainly songs that I've missed outside of the albums or omissions, but if I didn't like them going into this, they weren't going to make it very far in the bracket anyway, so it doesn't matter. Uh, so a couple things going in. There's definitely going to be some kind of recency bias related to this, as I just enjoyed the direction that Taylor Swift has gone, Red and After, more than I did for the first 3 albums. Don't get me wrong, I love Taylor Swift, Fearless, and Speak Now. I do, but not as much as I like Red, 1989, Reputation, Lover, and Folklore. Reputation is probably my favorite Taylor Swift album overall, but I'm sure I'll get into it when I start to rank the songs. So without further ado, switch over to the bracket cam and get into it. As you can see, I've created this bracket online. There are 6 rounds, as well as the semifinals and the finals. I'm going to go through. I'm just head to head, all completely randomly placed. I have not. Well, I just rearranged them, so it's completely random. The matchups. If I have something interesting to say, I'm going to talk about it while I pick, but if not, I'm just going to kind of make my decision and move on, because eventually we'll get to the point where if I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. If you couldn't tell by now, Taylor Swift is my favorite musical artist, and I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and I figured I would just record it and share it with anyone who wanted to watch. Alright, without further ado, let's get into our first round. Alright, coming in at the very beginning, we have Mirror Ball against Afterglow. So Mirror Ball is on Folklore, Taylor's newest album, surprise album. I was certainly surprised, very excited. Definitely spent a lot of money on the merchandise on that, but it will be worth it when my vinyls finally get here. But okay, so Mirror Ball, I like the song. I do. I don't think that Folklore is perfect, but I appreciate its direction overall. Afterglow, Lover. I really like Lover. I do not think it's perfect either. And I don't think it is as defined as Folklore is, and that's something that I do appreciate about Folklore. Even the songs I don't love, I appreciate them. On Lover, there are some songs that, take them or leave them. But in this case, I am going to go with Afterglow, as I enjoy that song a little bit more. Coming in at number 2, our second matchup, we have The Way I Loved You from Fearless against State of Grace on Red. Fearless is probably, spoiler, my least favorite of all of the albums. That being said, I still really like it. It's just the one that I like the least. Red, I enjoy a lot off of. However, out of the last 5 albums, it's the one that has the least amount of music that I'm head over heels for. But in this case, I'm going to go with The State of Grace from Red. I do enjoy that song. Next, we have The Archer from Lover versus I'm Only Me When I'm With You. And that is from... Doesn't matter, I forget. I want to say it's Fearless as well. Or Taylor Swift. I don't know. But I'm gonna pick The Archer. I enjoy the song. It's a little interesting. The Archer and Lover both don't necessarily represent the bigger picture for the album. but I like the song. That was my choice. All right. Next, we have Invisible from Taylor Swift versus Teardrops on My Guitar, also from Taylor Swift. Debut album. I think that a lot of it really holds up. I'm not that into country music, which is why I lean heavier towards her more strictly pop ventures, but there's a lot on this first album that I really like. I certainly like it overall better than I like Fearless. And then it's kind of on par with Speak Now, I think. But the hits off of this album have stood the test of time and continue to, and that certainly includes Teardrops on My Guitar. Definitely a classic Taylor Swift song that I still love. Next, Holy Ground off of Red and Getaway Car from Reputation. So I'm just gonna get this out of the way right now. I adore Reputation. When it came out, I got the CD on Black Friday from Target, and I listened to it. I had that thing in my car for months before the album was on any streaming platforms, before I could listen to it on Spotify over and over again. I just listened to the CD on repeat on my way to and from school. So a lot of songs from Reputation are just gonna go, especially in these early rounds. Later, it's gonna get a little more challenging, but for now, I'm gonna go with Getaway Car there. All right. Next up, Daylight off of Lover and Speak Now, the title track from her third studio album, Speak Now. Actually, this one, I like Daylight, but just this summer, when I was going back and kind of reassessing some songs and listening to the older albums again, I really enjoyed Speak Now. The guitar, the refrain, I'm really into it, especially right now. So that's definitely 100% moving on. Okay. The Best Day from Fearless and Haunted acoustic version. I'm not really. I'm gonna go with I like Haunted better. Don't really care about The Best Day. Next up, Mad Woman from Folklore versus Back to December acoustic version. Okay. This is tough. I really like Back to December, and I like the acoustic version a little more than just the regular album version. I like Mad Woman. I do. And I just a little sneak peek ahead. I see that the winner of this is going to go up against Picture to Burn, and I'm pretty sure either of them would lose to that. So I'm just going to go with Back to December acoustic. Definitely a good one. And next, what do we have? Back to December, the non-acoustic version versus Out of the Woods. I'm gonna go Out of the Woods. I like 1989 a lot. 1989 was the first Taylor Swift album that, like, I always liked Taylor Swift. When her debut album Taylor Swift came out in like 2006, we had it on CD and we listened to it over and over again, all the songs, and it was great. So I've always loved Taylor Swift through every era. But it wasn't until 1989 that I started to pay more attention and really get into her whole albums and everything about her as it was happening, as opposed to like retrospectively or kind of passively. So 1989 holds a special place in my heart. And I don't think it's perfect either. I don't think every song is like groundbreaking, but there's a lot on it that I really care about, that really speaks to me. Okay. Up next, Untouchable from Fearless and Don't Blame Me from Reputation. Again, Reputation is just gonna get the pass, gonna go on through. That song, I really enjoy it. So that's it. Okay, let's see. Next up, Mine, the pop mix from Speak Now, and Last Kiss, also Speak Now. I do enjoy some Mine, so I'm gonna give that one the go ahead. Alright, next up, My Tears Ricochet from Folklore against the title track from Fearless. My Tears Ricochet is track 5, I believe, on Folklore. It's the 5th track, and when the album dropped, I kept seeing track 5, track 5, track 5. Oh, you gotta listen to track 5. It's great. I do think it's a good song. I don't think it's the best song on the. I probably wouldn't put it in the top 5 songs on the album, in my opinion. I still like it though, and I'm gonna send it ahead over Fearless. So we're gonna take that and move on. All right, up next, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together from Red versus Stay Beautiful, Taylor Swift. Red, another album that when I Knew You Were Trouble, when that dropped, this earth-shattering, groundbreaking. It took Taylor Swift, and that was the pivotal moment in her career where she went from A to B. I love that song. I love this album. I do think that it's a transitional album. There's a lot of her older style that creeps through on the album, mixed with what she would become on her next couple of albums. So I don't think it always works, but in instances like we are never ever getting back together, I think that it absolutely deserves to move on. All right, getting close. Only 2 more on this first round. Okay, next up we have The Lucky One from Red and A Place in This World, Taylor Swift. I'm gonna go A Place in This World, Taylor Swift. Show some love for the OG. Here we go. Here's our first song that's not from a studio album. I Don't Want to Live Forever from the 50 Shades Freed soundtrack versus Girl at Home, Red. So I do very much like I Don't Want to Live Forever. It's with Zayn. But with this song and another one that'll be in the next round, that'll make an appearance, before her music was streaming, like her catalog streamed, it was just these songs that she did, these collaborations, these film songs, and that was one of them. So I would that was like it. If I were listening to Spotify and wanted to listen to Taylor Swift, it was pretty much that. So I listened to a hell of a lot of that song in the early days. So I do love it. All right, moving on to round 2, where we have quite a few matchups. This is it's gonna go pretty slow. It's gonna take it one at a time. See how our round 1 picks stack up against what they come up against here. Okay, let's see. Number 1, This Love, 1989 versus Afterglow, Lover. I'm gonna go again. Afterglow. I do like Lover a lot. It actually, when the album came out, I was traveling, so I bought the CD, and then I drove to Florida from Pennsylvania. Well, it was on Spotify too, but anyway. So the entire time, I can't tell you how many times I listened to this album from the drive there and back, and especially as I picked out songs that I loved, and I just would play them over and over, the same 6 or 8 songs. Afterglow wasn't originally one of them, but as I gave it more listens and more listens, eventually I decided that I really like this song. It's real fun. It makes me think of dark and cold, and that's a motif that I feel like a lot of Taylor's music has, where I just want to get cozy. I want to sit by a fire in the dark. I want it to be cold, and I just want to listen to her music. And Afterglow definitely has that effect. Next up, Mary's song "Oh My My My" against New Romantics. I'm gonna go New Romantics. I don't love New Romantics. It's definitely gonna lose to Afterglow. I like it better than Mary's song. It's just, again, the recency bias thing. It's just newer. It has a style to it that I like a little better than the older stuff. So we're gonna go next. Okay, Long Live from Speak Now versus Sad Beautiful Time from Red. We go Sad Beautiful Time. But to be honest, neither of those songs are really, they don't really do it for me. So, all right, up next. Ready for It from Reputation versus The Other Side of the Door. Ready for It, I think, is a fantastic opening track. It has so much energy. It's so it just starts the album off perfectly, and given that it's the first song on the album, it's probably the song one of the songs I've listened to the most off of the album because it just always comes on first, and I play that album from the beginning all the time. I really like it. It's moving on. Next up, Dress from Reputation against Cold as You from Taylor Swift. So let's see. Dress is gonna win that one and move on. It actually, when Reputation came out, I was traveling to New York that weekend. Whenever it came out, and I didn't have the CD. I didn't go buy it yet. Wasn't streaming, so I went on the internet for the first time in forever. Like when I was a kid, all the time, but as an adult, like whatever. Especially with streaming, convenient. Don't have to worry about it. But I found it somewhere immediately on some sketchy website, and I think I ended up just downloading Dress, and man, I love this song. I love it. I listen to it so much. And to this day, it might very well be my favorite song on the album. So, easy win there. We'll see how it holds up going forward. Okay, next. Hoax Folklore against I Forgot That You Existed from Lover. This is tough. I like them both about the same. I think they both fall in the category for me for not S tier songs from the albums they're on, but A tier songs for sure. Really like them, but it's to the point where I don't know which one I like better. So I think I'm gonna go with I Forgot That You Existed. I'm gonna show Lover some love because I do enjoy it. Up next, Dear John and Better Than Revenge, both from Speak Now. I am going to go with Better Than Revenge. I like that song a little better, less ballady. And again, Welcome to New York from 1989 against Forever and Always. I think Forever and Always is a pretty good song, but I'm going to go with Welcome to New York. I think that's the opening song on 1989. I don't know, but again, it's just one of those songs that you listen to it and it definitely puts you in a good mood. So, all right, next. Mean from Speak Now and State of Grace from Red. I think my mother would kill me if I did not choose Mean in this situation. It's definitely one of her favorite Taylor Swift songs. It's also, I mean, historically, it's one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. The first time we saw her in concert for the Speak Now tour, stadium tour here in Pittsburgh, she played Mean, and it was probably the most entertaining song of her whole entire set that night. I mean, the production and the choreography for that specific number was fantastic. I will never forget it. So, Mean's gonna move on. Next, You Need to Calm Down, Lover, and The Story of Us from Speak Now. I'm gonna go with The Story of Us. There's just a couple songs off of Lover that I don't vibe with, and a lot of them really are the singles. I just don't feel like it was I don't know the direction they were going, but like Me, I don't really care for that much. You Need to Calm Down. I just don't think it's the strongest representation of what is on that album. I think there is literal gold all over that album, and I just don't think that's it. And Lover and The Archer are both good songs. I enjoy them, but again, I don't see why those were the singles. I think it was a missed opportunity. But what do I know? It wasn't my decision. Up next, Shake It Off and Epiphany. I do like Epiphany a lot. Shake It Off is going to win though. That song is a behemoth. There's no stopping it to this day. I mean, it's what, at this point, it's been 6 years that song has just dominated. And, I mean, I can't blame it. It's great. It's so much fun. It's simple, but not in a bad way. So that's gonna move on for sure. All right, Red from Red, the title track in Wonderland, 1989. This is another difficult one. Loving you is like driving a new Maserati down a one-way street. We found Wonderland. You and I got lost in it. I'm gonna go Wonderland. It's like it a little bit better. Although Red is a good song. Here we go. Archer won. It won in round 1 to go up against the one Folklore, the opening track. And I'm gonna pick the one I really enjoy it. When Folklore, real quick. When Folklore came out, I was very excited. I woke up that day, I saw the news, I'm like, I can't believe this. This is crazy. It comes out tonight. So I went through the day, I was super excited. I used the Instagram filter. I was at work, I was waiting, I was like, awesome, I can't wait. And then somehow I came home and sat around I ate dinner, and I fell asleep. And I woke up at 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30 in the morning, and I was like, well, this can't be the case. I have to listen to this album. So I got up, I got my Red Bull at 1 a.m., and I said, well, I guess I'm up now. I sat down, I was playing The Last of Us Part 2 at the time, so I sat down and I just listened to the album 3 or 4 times while I played The Last of Us. It was actually a fantastic way to experience the album. Then eventually I went to work. But anyway, so with the one, it was just, when it started off, and she goes, I'm feeling good, I'm on some new shit. I was like, this is it. I knew from the first line of the album that it wasn't going to miss. And it didn't miss. So that's that. Alright. Here goes another one. Safe and Sound, off of the Hunger Games soundtrack. I don't know which one, probably Catching Fire, I think. Against You're Not Sorry. Fearless. With that, boom, Safe and Sound. Man, this song is haunting. It's so good. Another one that was on streaming services before the rest of her music, but man, the perfect Pennsylvania winter song. It gets dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You just put this song on and listen to it, and everything feels like it's going to be okay. Amazing. Okay, up next, Hey Stephen from Fearless against I Wish You Would, 1989. I'm going to go I Wish You Would. Enjoy it very much. Don't enjoy Hey Stephen nearly as much, so that's it. Alright, August and Teardrops on My Guitar. It makes me sad. I like August. I like it a lot, and I hate to see it. I hate to see it out of the running so early, but come on, are you kidding me? Teardrops on My Guitar? That's it. That's the song. Not okay. To me, that is the song that started it all. That song is Taylor Swift. So, like that. All right. Up next, Clean against Teardrops on My Guitar. I'm guessing one of these is acoustic, and one of them is. Yeah, I think that's the difference. Is the one's acoustic or it's the pop edit? But I think it's acoustic. I'm not going to take the time to find out, though, and I don't think there's a way for me to match these. Here we go. Okay. So let me see about this one. I don't know. Maybe that is some kind of typo. I'm not perfect. What I do know is I already sent it through, so Clean is going to get a bye. I like the song anyway. So, here we go. Gets a bye. Goes up against the winner of Cruel Summer, and All You Had to Do Was Stay. Ouch! This is Sophie's choice of a match if I've ever heard of one. All You Had to Do Was Stay. I like Cruel Summer. I don't like it as much as Stay. So, 1989 just through again. I think 1989 really has a a strong catalog in its track listing, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get through another couple rounds and we see a couple of songs sticking around. Although I don't know, anything can happen, so I don't know. All right, Jump the Fall from Fearless against Lover. Not as familiar with Jump the Fall or yeah. So and I do like Lover. I do. I just don't like it as much as other songs on the album, but it's gonna make it through. And Taylor, most people do leave the Christmas lights up till January. I don't take mine down until I have to, because Christmas is the superior holiday. All right, up next, I Knew You Were Trouble versus Bad Blood. Okay. I'm going to send I Knew You Were Trouble through because, again, formative moment in Miss Swift's career. Pinnacle. Where, I mean, there's the where, bam, and then after. It's before this song and after this song. And Bad Blood will come up again sometime later on in this round, so we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay, next up, False God from Lover against Getaway Car Reputation. Like False God, like Getaway Car better. The song has really grown on me over the years to become a song that I like to a song that I really love. So it's gonna move on. Okay. Ooh, here we go. This match. The Moment I Knew from Red up against Betty from Folklore. Betty is currently, at the time of this recording, charting on the country charts, the Billboard country charts, which is cool. Good to see. It was cool to see her back in the country charts after so long away. I think it's a little bit of a stretch to call Betty a country song, but I enjoy it nonetheless. She also gave a really awesome performance at the Country Music Awards a couple weeks ago. So I'm glad that song is popular and that it's one that she's choosing to promote and put out there. I do enjoy The Moment I Knew quite a bit, but I'm going to go with Betty. I think it was a very, very nice song on this album. Up next, we have The Last Time, Red, against Dancing with Our Hands Tied. If you haven't figured it out by now, ladies and gentlemen, boom! The Reputation song is gonna smash on through. So, that's that. Alright. This round, Illicit Affairs from Folklore against Exile, also on Folklore. Exile featuring Bon Iver. I like how I said Bon Iver. I know how to pronounce it, although I don't care. Both songs I enjoy. I don't enjoy Illicit Affairs as much. Exile, though, I think would be in that top 5 on the album. It's beautiful song. So I also enjoy seeing Taylor Swift throughout her entire career has been very, very picky about her features that she puts on her albums, and for the most part, I think she does a good job. She takes her time and uses them sparingly, and it pays off, as evidenced with this feature. Exile and Bon Iver created a beautiful song. Alright, next up, London Boy from Lover against Speak Now from Speak Now. Oh, I like London Boy. I don't think it gets a lot of love overall. Just like, I mean, more than other songs. I like it more than other songs on the album. I'd put it up at near the top. Speak Now, though, is just gonna get through again. I love that song so much. So much. Next up, Superman from Speak Now against A Perfectly Good Heart. Taylor Swift. I'm gonna send on A Perfectly Good Heart, because it's not gonna matter in the end. Okay, we have Haunted from Speak Now and Cardigan from Folklore. I'll pick Cardigan. At first, when I first listened to it, before I watched the music video, before I gave it time to sit, I wasn't super hot on Cardigan. I thought it was good. I liked it, but I was like, I'm not 100% sure. And then as it became the lead single off of the song, I was like, this is the lead single. I'm not seeing it. I don't really know. as time went on, a couple days, a couple weeks, it started to click and I got it. I mean, I really like the song. It's great. Great music video, directed by Taylor Swift herself. So, I think it deserves to move on right there. Next up, if this was a movie off of Speak Now against Never Grow Up, also on Speak Now, Never Grow Up is a slower song, but I think that works to its advantage in this case. So it's going to move on. Up next, Begin Again off of Red against Haunted, the acoustic version from Speak Now. I am going to go with Haunted. I do like Haunted. I don't know how the regular version can stack up against its match, but in this case, I don't really have any argument to make for Begin Again. All right, next. Everything Has Changed from Red versus Come Back, Be Here, also on Red. Listen, I love Taylor Swift, so it should come as no surprise that I also like Ed Sheeran quite a bit, and their collaborations are chef's kiss. Beautiful. Particularly this collaboration, I feel like, shows each of their strengths just so well. I love the song. I will champion it until I die, and it's moving on. Alright, next, Mine, off of Speak Now, against, here it is, Bad Blood featuring Kendrick Lamar. So, I understand why this version of Bad Blood didn't make its way onto the album, was just a single. I get that. I'm not gonna hold that against the song, but I do wish that this were on the album, either as a bonus track or just on the base album with the other version of Bad Blood being a bonus track, or hell, put them both there. It doesn't really matter. Again, with Taylor Swift choosing her features, Kendrick Lamar, surprising. You wouldn't think that, and at this point in her career, especially, I mean, coming off of Red, moving on to 1989, but this was even, this came out before the album, so it's like, wow, completely unexpected. I love Kendrick Lamar, so I want all parts of that, and I like the song in general. This is tough going up against Mine. I mean, that is another one that's classic Taylor Swift. I mean, you think Taylor Swift, you think Mine. I'm gonna go with Bad Blood though. I'm gonna move this one on for now. We'll see how far it goes. But okay, next, The Lakes, and Tim McGraw. I appreciate Tim McGraw. I appreciate the song, what it is, what it has done, what it was at the time. I don't like it that much. The Lakes is a bonus track on Folklore. Obviously, I didn't get to experience it with the rest of the album because it was only on the physical editions, but then eventually they just put it on streaming services anyway, so I didn't have to wait to get my copies of the album to listen to it. I think it's a strong song. I think it's a stronger closing song than what's on there. That being said, it isn't, so I have to judge it for what it is, which is a bonus track. That kind of diminishes it just a tad, but I enjoy the song, and I like it better than Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw is like the perfect summation of what I don't love on the first 3 albums from Taylor Swift. Appreciate it. Don't love it. Okay, up next. Picture to Burn, Back to December acoustic. Really? Ouch. This one hurts. Oh, I don't want to leave either of these in round 2, and I don't think I've gotten to the non-acoustic version of Back to December yet. But I can't assume that it will get to move on. I just Picture to Burn, man, a classic single. But the acoustic version, in particular, of Back to December, is one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. As far as like, it's just you listen to it and it gets you. You feel it. You can feel it in her voice. But I'm gonna go with Picture to Burn. It's just too much nostalgia, man. Too much nostalgia. Oh, here we go. I like this. Okay. This next one. Death by a Thousand Cuts off of Lover, and How You Get the Girl, 1989. I do enjoy How You Get the Girl, but man, let me tell you, Death by a Thousand Cuts, whew, I actually have a, I don't know where it went, but I, at some point, would like to get a tattoo of lyrics from this song, on my back somewhere. I really think I almost did, but then I got a different tattoo the last time I went. So, but I think pretty soon that's gonna be it. I love that song. It sounds fantastic. So, okay, up next, Seven off of Folklore against Blank Space 1989. This one too. Oh, why? I don't want to. I enjoy Blank Space so much, but Seven is my favorite song on Folklore. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to do it. Oh, I don't want to leave you behind. I don't want to leave you behind, Seven, but Blank Space is iconic. Okay. Up next, The Outside, Taylor Swift against I Think He Knows off of Lover. I Think He Knows is going to come out on top on that one. I really like that song. Well, again, one of my favorites off the album. Definitely in that rotation of songs that I listen to over and over and over again. So it's gonna come out on top there. Okay. Next, I Know Places from 1989 against Out of the Woods 1989 as well. I'm gonna go with I Know Places on that one. I very much enjoy that song. Gotta stay caffeinated. Next up, New Year's Day, the closing track on Reputation, up against Come In With the Rain from Fearless. So New Year's Day is an interesting song. It really closes the album out in a way that is unexpected, to say the least. I mean, you listen to every other song on the album, and then you get to New Year's Day, and you're like, it really hits you. And you're like, what is this? Where did this come from? And it's good. It's just very strange still. And there are no bonus tracks on Reputation. There are no deluxe editions. Nothing. So no matter what, that is it. That is the end of the album. And I'm gonna send it through because I just don't particularly care about Come In With the Rain. But New Year's Day, an interesting prelude. I think I feel like this song and another one that will come up that I haven't talked about yet are examples of what Taylor Swift channeled to bring folklore to life. So we'll get to that more. And up next, Should Have Said No from Taylor Swift against Soon You'll Get Better from Lover. Soon You'll Get Better, it's a good song, I feel like it tries very hard. It's featuring the Dixie Chicks. Take it or leave. But I feel like Soon You'll Get Better tries very, very hard to capture some of that Speak Now, Fearless energy. And I think it just misses the mark a little bit. Good, not great. Certainly not as good as Should Have Said No. Oh man, another example of a song off of that debut album that just, it holds up. From the second I heard it, I have not forgotten about it, and I never will forget about it. Oh, here we go. Sparks Fly on Speak Now, cool. Against Gorgeous, Reputation. We're talking songs on Reputation that I just adore. This is it right here. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much. It's so much fun. It's light. It's upbeat. Reputation has a bad rap for some reason, and I really don't understand it. Critically and commercially, it did not perform to the level of other projects before and after it, and I'm not 100% sure why. I get, like, at the time, personal drama was a little iffy. I mean, it played a big part in her persona. She was very quiet, but at the end of the day, I feel like the album speaks for itself, and it says a lot. Up next, Are You in Love, 1989, against Don't Blame Me, Reputation. Alright, bam, I'm gonna make it easy for you. Look at that. Don't Blame Me, Reputation moves on. Here we go. King of My Heart, Reputation, against 22 from Red. So let's think about this. I mean, it has to. It has to be. It has to be 22. Great song. One of the biggest from the album, especially like now. I mean, it endures. It's an anthem. It is the anthem for that year of your life. When I turned 22 on my 22nd birthday, I made a nice little Instagram video that involved this song because how couldn't I? I had to. And then I spent the rest of that year and kind of squandered the potential to use the song after that. But nevertheless, whatever. I at least did something. So, okay. Here we go. Next. Look What You Made Me Do from Reputation and Me from Lover. This is an interesting matchup because both of these songs were the lead single from the album. And one of them was met with a lot more mixed feelings than the other. I feel like Me was came out with Brandon Urie and was people liked it. I mean, I was excited when I was like, new Taylor, here we go. I was super excited. I ate it up for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks until some more singles dropped and the album came out eventually. But and on the flip side, Look What You Made Me Do. I mean, that came out and I wasn't really paying attention before that, but then it dropped and I was like, the song isn't perfect. The I'm Too Sexy it's a sample thing is a little odd, sure, I'll admit, but people weren't vibing with it, man. It was like, it seemed like, hardcore fans were excited and happy, and then, the general people that, take or leave Taylor Swift, they were leaving Taylor Swift on that one. And in the context of the album, I think the song works pretty well. And the music video is fantastic. I think it holds up. I think the song now is deserves more credit than it was originally given. On the flip side, Me, as much as I liked it when it came out, in the context of the album, I do not really care for it that much. I just feel like there are other songs on the album where Taylor has more to say, does more interesting things. So I'm gonna leave that one behind in favor of Look What You Made Me Do. Alright, next up, we have I Almost Do from Red against Paper Rings from Lover. Paper Rings, another song that didn't catch me initially, much like Afterglow, but upon more and more listens, I decided that I'd say, I like this song. I really enjoy what it's trying to do, what it is, and where it's going. So I'm gonna let that one move on. Well, beverage break. Okay, here we go. All right, next up, we have The Last Great American Dynasty from Folklore up against Mine Pop Remix, Speak Now. Whew. So, this is the first matchup that, to me, I'm really like, neither of them has to go through. Because here's the deal. I love Mine, but I don't need a pop remix. The original is fine. It's perfect. Don't need a pop mix. Don't need it. Last Great American Dynasty, I don't know what it is about the song. I do not like it very much. It's just not pleasant for me to listen to, and I know it's just me. Other people really like the song, and I think what the song does conceptually is very interesting. I just don't think the song itself is it's not my vibe. It ain't my vibe, man. Not my vibe. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let the pop mix of Mine move on, and then we'll deal with that later. Okay, next up, Love Story against Starlight. I like Starlight very much, but Of course I'm gonna pick Love Story. Are you kidding me? I love that song. Another one from Fearless that like it feels like it's been there this whole time. Like it's always been there. It's always been popular. It's always been Taylor Swift. So there we are. Okay, there we go. Matchup number 51. Wildest Dreams against Cornelia Street. I like Cornelia Street. I really like Wildest Dreams. So I'm gonna let that one eke on through. Ooh. Stay, stay, stay. Stay, stay, stay. Good song. Fun song. I like it. Our Song, on the other hand. Great song. Amazing song. Love it. Throw this baby on in the car with your friends that like Taylor Swift. So not many of my friends, but some of them. And it's a jam. You have fun, scream at the top of your lungs. It's fun, it's easy, it's simple, but it works, and it's endearing. And I love it. And it's moving on. Up next. There's some weird numbering here. Okay. Superstar from Fearless versus My Tears Ricochet. Did I make a mistake? I think I made a mistake earlier when I was talking about track 5. I hope I didn't. I'm picking My Tears Ricochet. Good song. I mean, I don't think it's great. Okay. It's a great song. I don't like it as much as I like other songs on the album, but I like it better than Superstar from Fearless, so it's going to move on. Next, Enchanted from Speak Now versus Delicate from Reputation. Here's the deal. I like Delicate. As previously mentioned, I like all of Reputation. I like the whole thing. Cover to cover. Listen to the album many, many times. I like Delicate very much. I don't know. I do not know. Look at me. I do not know why it was a single. Why it was the single. I still hear it on the... Not that I listen to the radio very often, but when I do listen to the radio, I hear this song. I like it. I think it's good. I think there are so many better songs on the album that would have been better suited for marketing and to be pushed as a single, but whatever. I like the song. It is moving on. I sit back in my chair, my back hurts. I hope I'm still in the frame. I can't tell. Okay. Next. Change from Fearless against So It Goes, Reputation. I'll make this easy for you. Reputation. Bam. I really like that song. Okay, here's another song. So, another extra song. Style from 1989. Good song. Like it very much. Against Only the Young from the Miss Americana documentary. I believe, if I saw it correctly, which I think I did, but I'm just saying, I believe that this song, Only the Young, was just nominated for an Academy Award, which isn't surprising, but I don't think it is the kind of feel-good, go-get-'em Tiger anthem that it was drafted to be, and it doesn't fit in the larger context of the documentary very well, in my opinion, although the documentary is very good. I definitely suggest giving it a watch, whether you like Taylor Swift or not. Just getting a little, a small peek into her life and what she goes through, and just to see it from her perspective. It's really, really fascinating and eye-opening. I don't like the song that much, so Style is going to move on. Look at this. We're almost at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more from round 3. Here we go. All right. Breathe from Fearless against We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together from Red. Boomski. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. Cutting it through. I have to. It's such a fun song, such a fun anthem. The music video is great. It came out at a good time. Next up, This Is Me Trying from Folklore, and This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. Oh, from Reputation. Two Thises. How about that? Like them both. I do appreciate This Is Me Trying. I feel kind of bad. I don't get the feeling that Folklore is getting the representation that it deserves here, because it's losing a lot of head-to-heads. But that's just the luck of the draw, because This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things is a song that will endure to me. I love it. I love it now. I loved it when I heard it for the first time, and I'll continue to love it. Sorry, I need to collect. I'm starting to lose it here. And I know we ain't halfway through yet. Maybe we're like almost halfway through. The point is, just collect my thoughts as we continue to go into this so I can articulate them well. Cheers. Okay. Next up, Peace from Folklore versus Innocent from Speak Now. I'm gonna go with Peace. I like Peace. I like the song Peace. Good song. Don't really care about Innocent that much, so. Up next, Invisible String from Folklore, as well as Against All Too Well from Red. Look at that. I just made the comment about Folklore, and then here we are, 2 songs in a row, going head to head in the next round, round 3, from Folklore. So that makes me feel a little bit better. I like Invisible Strings quite a bit. Quite a bit. I love the guitar on that. The whole concept of the album is good in my opinion. I'm glad that she did it. So oh good. Okay, a song's coming up that I want to talk about in relation specifically to Folklore. Couple rounds, but anyway, I like Invisible Strings quite a bit. It's moving on. Next up, Call It What You Want against A Place in This World. A Place in This World, good song, classic song. I definitely think that it deserves a listen. It's not moving on. It's not moving on. Call It What You Want is going to move on, because again, Reputation is a juggernaut. It can't be stopped. Here we go. Next matchup, I Did Something Bad from Reputation against It's Nice to Have a Friend from Lover. So It's Nice to Have a Friend, and what else was I talking about? It was on in New Year's Day. So these 2 songs, New Year's Day from Reputation and It's Nice to Have a Friend from Lover, I feel strongly are preludes to Folklore as a concept. I mean, really both of them. She is not necessarily speaking through personal through her own experiences, but speaking through the eyes of somebody else, somebody that isn't her, which is the entire concept of Folklore. Every song, it's not Taylor speaking, it's Taylor portraying other characters and speaking vicariously through them. And both New Year's Day and It's Nice to Have a Friend, I feel, also kind of carry that motif, and I think that these songs walked so that Folklore could run. It's Nice to Have a Friend is because in neither of them, again, with this song, it does not fit on within the greater context of Lover very well. But I love the song. I mean, it's such a nice little ballad. It's simple. It's just pleasing to listen to. That being said, now we're going up against I Did Something Bad. And it does pain me here. It pains me. I gotta leave Reputation in the dust, man, because It's Nice to Have a Friend. It has to pull through there. I really do like that song quite a bit. Next, Treacherous from Red versus Ours from Speak Now. And I tell you what, ours, again, much like the song Speak Now, just this year in 2020, I have really found a new appreciation for them. And ours is it's super cute. It's a fun song that it just makes you smile. It's naive Taylor. So, let that one go ahead. 15 from Fearless against Endgame on Reputation. Endgame, the second track on Reputation. And so here's the deal. I like 15. I like the song. It's a good song. But as I mentioned before, with similar tracks, it kind of encompasses everything about early Taylor that aren't my favorite aspects of her as an artist. So, I like the song. I appreciate it. It's not going to move on. Endgame, on the other hand, you got Ed Sheeran, as previously mentioned. Taylor and Ed Sheeran collaboration. Magic. It's fantastic. You also have Future, which, like Kendrick Lamar, not necessarily the first person you'd think of whenever you go, I wonder who Taylor Swift's going to have on her next album. Probably wouldn't think Future. But Future delivers, and so does Ed Sheeran, and so does Taylor. And this song is another one where it has so much energy to it. It's just I love it. Love the song. It's moving on. Definitely a contender for some later rounds here. All right. I miscounted earlier, by the way, when I said 6, it was actually 12, because there's 2 per. It doesn't matter. 4 more for this round. Here we go. All right, You Belong With Me versus I Don't Want to Live Forever. Ooh. Tough one. I Don't Want to Live Forever, again, holds a special spot. But You Belong With Me, man, huh. I love this. I love the song. I love it. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince from Lover against Forever and Always, the piano version from. That's funny that doesn't. So anyway, it's from Fearless. Miss Americana's gonna win. If I had to pick a song off the top of my head, it's like, what's your favorite song off the Lover? It's probably Death by a Thousand Cuts. But if I had to pick a second favorite song, it might be Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. Just super great song. Definitely one of the strongest on the album. Sending it through. But that was a tough call. Up next, White Horse from Fearless against Tied Together with a Smile from Taylor Swift. White Horse. That's it. Got nothing else. And finally, the last matchup from round 2, which means that after this, every song will have been considered at least one time, if not twice. We have Tell Me Why from Fearless against The Man on Lover. I like The Man a lot. I think it's fun. I think it has a lot to say, even if it's not the most serious song. I do also enjoy the music video. So, that's going to be our last pick for round 2. Wow. We've done it. Look at that. We're gonna fly through the rest of this. Although the decisions are gonna get a lot harder, but we're gonna do it together. All right. Our first matchup for round 4, we have Afterglow versus New Romantics. Also, I should mention, from this point forward, it's probably gonna be a lot less of my commentary on each individual track, since I've already talked about them the first time I've seen them. So I'm sure I'm still going to have things to add and interject, but it's going to be a lot more choosing and a lot less explanation, I guess. So let's see. All right, Afterglow against New Romantics. I'm going to go with Afterglow on this one. I just feel like I just like it a little bit better than New Romantics, although I do like New Romantics. Okay, ready for it against Sad Beautiful Time. Ready for it is gonna move on. There's nothing. I got no defense for Sad Beautiful Time. But Ready for It, on the other hand, I do. Okay. Ooh, I forgot that you existed. Versus Dress. Oh, it's gonna be Dress. Dress has to move on. I love the song. There you go. Better Than Revenge. Welcome to New York. Interesting matchup. I like them both. Don't love either of them, but I enjoy Welcome to New York a little bit better. So it's moving on. All right, up next, Speak versus The Story of Us. I misspoke there. Mean versus The Story of Us. Both from Speak Now, and I'm gonna go with Mean. Mean really is a great song. So here we go. Oh, a matchup from Speak Now, and now we have a matchup from 1989, Shake It Off and Wonderland. Shake It Off is gonna prevail. Again, though, love Wonderland. Shake It Off is more than just a song. It is a cultural moment. So, and it continues to be. That continues to be the case. All right, here we go. Next up, The One from Folklore against Safe and Sound from the Hunger Games soundtrack. I don't know how far it's going to make it, but I'll be damned if it doesn't make it at least this far. It's just such a good song. I'm going to listen to it after I'm done. It's the first one. And it will face the winner of I Wish You Would from 1989 and Teardrops on My Guitar from Taylor Swift. Teardrops on My Guitar is going to win, although tough choice. Again, I Wish You Would, strong showing from 1989, which, I mean, an album full of strong showings. That is one that sticks out. Up next, Clean, and All You Had to Do Was Stay. All you had to do was stay. That's it. That's moving on. That's a choice. I'll stick with. Okay, this one easy. Again, as I mentioned, love her, like it, don't love it. I Knew You Were Trouble. Love it. I love it. It's moving on. Easy lock. I feel like it's almost inevitable that I Knew You Were Trouble is going to make it at least to the semifinals. I'm pretty confident. We'll see what it's up against, but it's a special song. Next up, Getaway Car, Reputation versus Betty, Folklore. Ouch. I feel like 1-1. Betty is probably the stronger showing. As much as I like Getaway Car, as much as I like the entire album of Reputation, I feel like head to head, Betty is probably the better of the two songs. Ooh, this one's hard. Another one. Dancing with Our Hands Tied against Exile. Exile is a fantastic song. It's fantastic. But Dancing with Our Hands Tied is fantastic in a different way. They're both great. So they can't both win. One of them has to lose. And it's going to be Exile. Bon Iver, you're staying in... Oh, I've done it. Wait, I can undo it. Can't I undo it? Can I undo it? Reopen the bracket. Oh no. Oh, what have I done? Okay. I'm just going to go. Okay. Ooh. Exile wins on a technicality. Although on a different day, if I weren't an idiot, Dancing with Our Hands Tied would have moved on. It doesn't matter though. I don't think it would have won. And that's all we're really going for. To see what's number one. So, moving on. Okay, next up. Speak Now against A Perfectly Good Heart. Speak Now. I can't stress it enough just how much I like that song, especially right now. Okay. Here we go. For our next round, we have Cardigan off of Folklore versus Never Grow Up from Speak Now. And Cardigan is going to take this one although Never Grow Up is a good song. Next matchup, Haunted, acoustic version, against Everything Has Changed. Ed Sheeran pulling through again with the victory there. Everything Has Changed is moving on. And here we have Bad Blood, Kendrick Lamar against The Lakes, a bonus track from Folklore, and Bad Blood is going to take it. That sets up an interesting matchup in round 4 for two strong features. Only one will prevail, though. I have to see what that is. Here we go. Picture to Burn, classic, against Death by a Thousand Cuts. Contemporary classic, in my opinion, but not as beloved by the masses. Oh. Feel like something from the OG days is going to move on, but it's not going to be Picture to Burn. Death by a Thousand Cuts moves on. Here we go. Blank Space, 1989 versus I Think He Knows, off of Lover. Blank Space, man, much like Shake It Off, it's force. That's a force of a song from this album. So it's not going to go down without a pretty solid fight. I Know Places from 1989 versus New Year's Day Reputation. This is where New Year's Day it cannot hold its own in this matchup. I mean, I like the song. I Know Places is a little bit better though to me. So here we go. Oh, this is tough. All right, Should Have Said No from Taylor Swift against Gorgeous from Reputation. Again, Gorgeous in particular is a song from that album that I just think there's something about it that can't help but love. So as much as I love Should Have Said No, as much as I appreciate it, it's staying back, and Gorgeous is moving on. Next matchup, Don't Blame Me from Reputation against 22 on Red. I don't think this is as easy as a decision as I'm gonna make it look, but 22 is gonna move on. I just don't think that Don't Blame Me has the caliber to overcome 22 in this case, so it's staying behind. Up next, Look What You Made Me Do against Paper Rings. This is a pretty tough call, because both of them, again, I think are good songs that kind of get lost in the middle to lower-ish tiers on their respective albums. I, again, like both of them, but I just don't think that either of them they're about the same. So I'm gonna show Lover some love. I think Paper Rings is a cute song. I think it deserves to move on. Next, Love Story from Fearless against Mine Pop Mix. Again, Mine won on a technicality of me not really caring for either selection in that matchup. So Love Story is gonna move on, and it will face the winner of Wildest Dreams 1989 and Our Song, Taylor Swift. Ba-bang. I said all I need to say about Our Song, and it's gonna move on. Next up, My Tears Ricochet off of Folklore against Delicate Reputation. I just noticed that I didn't put a space here, and you can't see it there. See it here? There's no space there. That's really bothersome. But you get that sometimes. So here we go. All right. Okay. Time for a decision. Delicate's gonna win. I don't think it's going to stay very long, though. Alright, So It Goes, Reputation against Style, 1989. Style is very good. I don't like it as much as So It Goes. And that's that. Alright, we're getting close to the end of round 4. Ooh, things are really heating up now. Okay. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together from Red against This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, Reputation. Oh, man. This is another one of those examples of this song. It's so strong. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is like, that's an anthem. Deservedly so. It moves on. It will go up against the winner of Peace and Invisible Strings, both of Folklore. Again, mentioned this when they both won the previous round to go up against each other, and I like Invisible Strings a little bit better, so I'm gonna allow that one to advance. Next up, Call It What You Want from Reputation against It's Nice to Have a Friend from Lover. I may have raved about It's Nice to Have a Friend before, and all of that remains true. However, I like Call It What You Want better. So, it's gonna move on. But don't underestimate It's Nice to Have a Friend. I really feel like it's a sleeper hit, hanging out towards the end of that album. All right, Ours and Endgame. Oh, see, these are two really, really different songs, and it is hard for me to compare them. But that's the task at hand, and I don't really have a choice. So Endgame is gonna take the cake, just because, again, the energy that song brings with it. Track number 2, it comes at you. It's a bam, 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 verse after verse after verse. It doesn't stop, and I love that. Ours is great too, though. Just a different song. Next up, for the last to decide the last matchup of the next round in round 4, the first song, You Belong With Me, up against Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. Look, all I gotta say on this one is, she wears high heels, I wear sneakers, she's cheer captain, and I'm on the bleachers. You Belong With Me is skating its way to the next round. Although, again, Miss Americana, fantastic song on Lover. I wouldn't underestimate it. And then finally, White Horse Fearless against The Man on Lover. The Man, good song. I don't love it, but it's going against White Horse, which won on the technicality of me not caring about either White Horse or Tied Together with a Smile. So there you go. There you have it. Now we have all of round 4 in place, ready to go. We're in the end game now. Our first matchup: Afterglow, Lover against Ready For It, Reputation. Tough call, but ready for it. Opening track, taking it. It's taking that one. First in round 4, made its way to round 5. Next up, Welcome to New York, 1989, against Dress, Reputation, and I gotta give it to Dress, man. I'm telling you, the song is amazing, and it's showing by just matchup after matchup, destroying the competition. Next, Mean against Shake It Off. This is hard. It is. They're both great. Shake It Off is better. It is what it is. I knew it would make it far, and so far it just hasn't come up against anything to really give it a run for its money. It will go against the winner of Safe and Sound and Teardrops on My Guitar. Teardrops on My Guitar, classic Taylor Swift. Classic Taylor Swift. That first album, beautiful song. Safe and Sound is moving on, though. Cannot understate how much I love that song and how great I think it is. Wow, we're moving. Okay. All You Had to Do Was Stay against I Knew You Were Trouble. Another one. All You Had to Do Was Stay. Great song. I Knew You Were Trouble. Moves on, though. It has to. It has to. It has to. Listen to me. It has to. Is what it is. Alright, it's going to go up against the winner of Betty and Exile. Again, Exile. Not supposed to be here. That was my mistake. We can pretend it's Dancing with Our Hands Tied, and if these were switched, I'm honestly not sure which one it would be. between these two, I'm gonna pick Betty, but I'm gonna let you in on a little spoiler. I knew You Were Trouble's gonna win anyway. It would win against any of these selections. So at the end of the day, it's okay. Next up, Speak Now against Cardigan. I've come to the realization that I never really explained how I'm choosing these songs, whether it's based off of solely personal preference or objective quality or anything or something else. I guess it's a little bit of all of them, although, I mean, for the most part, it's like my favorite, mixed with what I think are the best, but I'm not rating them necessarily, and it's not a science. So it is what it is. And that's why in this case, I'm gonna pick Speak Now. I like Cardigan in most people's brackets, given this selection. I'm not sure Speak Now would have won over Cardigan. I'm not convinced it would have made it to round 4. But for me, that's how I feel, so that's where it's going. And up next, oh, here we go. The matchup of the features. Everything has changed off of Red with Mr. Ed Sheeran and Bad Blood, the single, featuring Kendrick Lamar. So here's the thing with this choice. I feel like everything has changed. As great as it is, it gets kind of lost in the shuffle of the greater album that it appears on, to its detriment, which doesn't change the quality of the song, but it changes the context in which the song is being judged. While on the other hand, Bad Blood, while it exists as a single and is accompanied by a fantastic music video, I think it just sticks out a little more. And as far as for me personally, and probably the greater collective, it kind of sits in the memory. And that's why I'm going to choose it to move on to the next round. Moving forward, Death by a Thousand Cuts from Lover against Blank Space, 1989. Tough, again, Death by a Thousand Cuts might be my favorite song on the album. Blank Space, it's just, man, this album came out my senior year of high school, 1989 that is, and in the fall and the winter, it just dominated, and that means something to me. It really has stuck with me over the past half a decade at this point. 6 years coming up on its anniversary, so I'm gonna go with Blank Space. I'm gonna let it move on. But that being said, Death by a Thousand Cuts, it hurts. It hurts leaving it behind. Saying goodbye is Death by a Thousand Cuts, but sometimes that's just how it's got to be. Up next, I Know Places on 1989 against Gorgeous on Reputation. Here's the deal. I love them both. I love Gorgeous a little bit more. It's moving on. Next matchup, 22 on Red against Paper Rings on Lover. Another matchup where I think there's an argument to be made for it to go either way. And the popular choice is 22. Do I know that it's the right choice? Not necessarily. But I just feel like the impact of this song cannot be understated. And that's why I'm going to choose for it to move on. Now here we go. This is a classic Taylor Swift matchup. We have Love Story from Fearless against Our Song from Taylor Swift. I mean, Love Story is definitely the more popular of the two. Absolute juggernaut of a song that has stood the test of time and still is popular to this day. Our Song, though, I feel like it's a little more personal. It has a little more heart to it overall. And for me, I like it a little better. So that's what we're going to go with. 4 more matchups in round 4. Oh, we're getting into it now. All right. Delicate Reputation against So It Goes. Also on Reputation. This is an interesting matchup for being this late into the bracket. I really hope I've been in camera this whole time. I'm not looking at it, I'm just assuming. So, I guess I'll find out. Here we go. Okay. Delicate, So It Goes. So It Goes. Delicate. Good song. Great song. Love the song. So It Goes wins. That's all the more there is to it. Next up, we are never, ever getting back together against Invisible Strings from Folklore. And we're never, ever getting back together from Red. I hate to say it, but Folklore is fast on its way to getting knocked completely out of the running. But it is what it is. I'll check after these next couple to see if I haven't been paying that much attention. If any album has completely made its way out of the bracket yet. I don't know. But We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is going to make it through. Too good. All right. 2 more for this round. Call It What You Want from Reputation against Endgame Reputation. I hate to lean too hard into the features because it takes something away from Taylor herself. And overall, I don't necessarily enjoy her songs with features more than any of her other music. It just so happens that the songs with features that I really care about are moving on. So in this case, again, Future, Ed Sheeran, amazing collaboration, super strong. I'm gonna send it on to the next round. All right, and finally, You Belong With Me and The Man. And You Belong With Me. I'm going to show it some love. I'm going to send it on through. Okay, so before we get started on round 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, well, we're only down to 8 songs for round 6. But before we get started on that, let's see. Okay, so we still have Reputation there, 1989 there, something, a single, Red, Folklore, Speak Now, another single, Taylor Swift, I've lost track, Fearless. Okay, is that everything? Let's see, let's go in order. Okay, Taylor Swift we got, Fearless we got, Speak Now, we've got... Do we? Oh yeah, okay, Speak Now we've got. Okay, then Red. We got Red. 1989, yep. Reputation, oh, absolutely. Lover. Ooh, have we knocked out Lover? And then I know we have Folklore. So let's see. No. Oh, wow. Okay, well, apparently we've left Lover in the dust. It was the first one to bite the dust. Kind of surprising. But not the most surprising. I mean, overall, I feel like the album doesn't contain songs on it that are like that hold up against the best of the best in Taylor's discography. So I'm not necessarily super surprised. I think it's a great album. I think it has plenty of examples of fantastic songs. But it is what it is. It's fallen behind. So, here we go. Round 6. We're getting close. We're getting so close. Our first matchup. Ready for it. Reputation against Dress, also on Reputation. This is where I have to choose. I have to pick favorites, and I'm picking Dress. It makes me sad to leave Ready for It behind, but I gotta pick, and Dress is it. Shake It Off against Safe and Sound. I have to pick Shake It Off. Safe and Sound is held back by the context of being on a movie soundtrack, as great as a song as it is, it also it features the Civil Wars, so it does have a feature on it. And at this point, I just gotta make choices that show Taylor's strengths. And her strengths, in this case, her strength is making this anthem that has just that took the world by storm and continues to be at the cultural forefront of her image. So that's that. And again, another example, much like the last one, where Betty and I Knew You Were Trouble. I do enjoy Betty. I'm happy for its current success. It's not gonna overshadow I Knew You Were Trouble. It won't. And then we have Bad Blood, Kendrick Lamar, and Speak Now, Taylor Swift. I'm gonna shock myself here, but I'm gonna choose Speak Now. I mean, it's a deep cut as far as what we got going on here. Like, I mean, Dress is a little bit, but not as much, I don't think, because it's a lot newer. A lot more in the recent memory here. But, like, Shake It Off, I Knew You Were Trouble. Big, so, like, some of Taylor's biggest songs. Speak Now, although the title track on the album doesn't even have a music video. So, but that's my choice. That's where it is. Quarterfinals, I think, is what we're choosing for right now. So, there we go. All right, next, Blank Space versus Gorgeous. I'd love to show my love for Reputation here. I would, but Blank Space is amazing. It's amazing. It's a great song. So I'm gonna leave Gorgeous there, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy choice. All right, and now we have 22 on Red versus Our Song on Taylor Swift. This is tough. At the end of the day, Our Song just means more to me, and I think it's a little 22 is a little more surface level, I think, than Our Song. So Our Song making it on to round 6. All right, last two choices of the round. So it goes Reputation against We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together from Red. Interesting lineup here. So it goes, I like it a lot. I'm kind of surprised it's made it this far. Just the way that the cards were shuffled. But it's going to stay right where it's at, and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is going to move on. Our final matchup of the round, Endgame on Reputation against You Belong With Me from Fearless. This is tough. I mean, if we were going purely on what I've listened to more, or what I like more, I'd probably pick Endgame. But I feel like there's a quality that You Belong With Me possesses that just makes it stand out here, particularly in this matchup. And I'm gonna send it through. I'm gonna send it through, and there we go. Now we've come down to 8 songs, 4 selections for our quarterfinals, I believe. And now we are getting real close to the end. Scarily close. So, without further ado, these are your semifinalists. First up, we have Dress on Reputation against Shake It Off. I don't think it comes as much of a surprise at this point, but Shake It Off is gonna eke its way through on that one. If nothing else based off of name alone. Next up, I Knew You Were Trouble against Speak Now. Again, here, setting up an impossible choice for the semifinals, but I Knew You Were Trouble is going to go through. Both of these songs here are like the song off of their respective albums, so That's for next round, though. Okay, 2 more choices. Ooh, that was a tough one. All right, here we go. Blank Space against Our Song. This is the end of the road for one of these songs, and I feel kind of bad about it. It's put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, Blank Space it's just more. It's this new era of Taylor, and I don't think that Our Song can defeat it in a head-to-head battle. Again, though, Our Song, I mean, it made it this far for a reason. Fantastic. Perfect showcase of early Taylor and what it was and how special it still is. So, Blank Space moves on, though. Alright. And finally, we are never ever getting back together against You Belong With Me. Red and Fearless. Red and Fearless. I'm gonna kind of go the opposite on this one, and I'm gonna go with You Belong With Me, and leave We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together right there. I mean, I think top 8 is respectable for it. I mean, I think in a different scenario it would make it further, but right here in this matchup, I just think that, I mean, You Belong With Me is great. So that's it. Now we're on to the semifinals, the top 4. Let's just take a look. We have Shake It Off from 1989. And I Knew You Were Trouble from Red, as well as Blank Space from 1989, and You Belong With Me from Fearless. So we see, I mean, Fearless, second album, definitely an outlier, but the other 3 songs, 2 from 1989, 2 of her absolute mega hits, and then 1 from Red, and another mega hit, and all 3 of these songs, I feel like, showcase are some of the strongest examples of the steps she took to rebrand her image in the I mean, it's hard to call it a halfway point because there are 3 albums and now we're at 5 albums since, but those first 3 albums she differentiated herself after them, and all 3 of these songs are examples of that. So without further ado, let's pick our finalists. Okay, coming in, number 1, the first choice, Shake It Off, 1989, against I Knew You Were Trouble from Red. It's gonna be Shake It Off. No easy choice there. No easy choice. But the song has a quality to it that just allows it to eke out the victory. I mean, I think at the end of the day, these 2 songs are very similar. And you could debate either way, and it would be perfectly valid. For me, though, Shake It Off has to move on to the finals. We have our first finalist. Whew, here we go. Here's on to the second finalist. Let's go. Okay. Blank Space, 1989, against You Belong With Me, Fearless. Another one. I mean, it's cool to me. I don't know what I didn't have any expectations going into this, but I certainly wasn't sure that any of these older songs were going to make it this far. I mean, we're talking top 4 at this point. It's really like top 3. So, but it's funny, not necessarily how I saw this going, but I gotta give this one to Blank Space and say goodbye to You Belong With Me. And with that, we're at the finals. This is it. All of our hard work. I mean, look at these choices. We've made so many choices. Most of them impossibly difficult, but it's led us to this point where our last 2 songs, Shake It Off and Blank Space, both off of the same album, 1989, which, interestingly enough, like that's like the midpoint. That's album 5 out of 8. So we're talking, you know, one, two, three, 4 albums, and then album number 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. So that's like the midpoint right currently of her career, and that's where our 2 finalists hail from. I don't know if that says anything or not, but I feel like I've been pretty objective, and this is where it has led us. Now, if these two would have matched up earlier in the bracket, if they wouldn't have been in the same, or if they wouldn't have been on complete opposite ends, then who knows how it would have shaken out. But this is where we find ourselves. It all comes down to this: shake it off and blank space. And at the end of the day, I feel in my soul that there is an answer to this. And I think it's gonna be, it has to be blank space. We have a winner. Oh, this site. Okay, we're gonna switch back now. Hold on. Okay, so blank space has officially won. There we go. All right, and bam. Okay, back to the Taylor cam. All right. Well, we've done it. I've done it. I've ranked every single Taylor Swift song, with slight exceptions, and I've reached number 1, and it was blank space. I should have known. I should have known that that's where we go. Do I have it? I do not. I'm waiting on my still waiting to get the vinyl for 1989. I have Speak Now read the special edition vinyl of Reputation and the special edition vinyl of Lover, and I ordered, I don't know, 9 vinyls for Folklore because she decided that she wanted to release nine different special editions, so I bought them all. I can't show off the 1989 vinyl though, so it is what it is. Anyway though, so I mean, that's it. What are we at? We are at an hour and 40 minutes of recording. I imagine that in the end it'll be about an hour and 30 minutes when it's all said and done. That's crazy. I just talked about Taylor Swift for an hour and a half. I'll take it though. I mean, I love the girl. I love her music. I love everything she stands for. And I couldn't be happier with how this all turned out. So if anybody ever watches this, especially if they watch it all the way through, thank you. I appreciate it. Certainly didn't have to do that. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining or enlightening in some way, shape, or form. I appreciate it. So, blank space. Number 1. I'm not that surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a fantastic song, and even more, it's a fantastic example of what Taylor Swift is and what she can be and the kind of music that she can make and put out there and what it can do culturally and just the impact that it can have. Whew. So, I mean, I guess we've accomplished our goal. Thank you for coming on this ride with me and listening to me babble for all this time. I appreciate it. So I'll see you again in the future. Maybe I'll do another one of these. I don't know who else I really have an appreciation for their entire discography for. Possibly Lorde, although I get the feeling that video might be a tad shorter considering she has 2 albums at the time of this recording, but hopefully that changes soon. Anyway, okay, before I babble to you anymore, thank you. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did as well. And there you have it. Blank space, number 1. Maybe sometime I'll come back and I'll revisit this. I'll shuffle the bracket, do it, change it up completely, and then see what we come up with. Maybe do a double elimination or something crazy, round robin. I don't know. I could do anything. Super crazy. Thanks. I love you. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye.